So I'm outside on this beautiful morning, and I thought that what we would do today on campus is that I would talk about pacing. And if you look down by my feet, I've laid out a meter tape. And what we're going to do is talk about, first of all, the difference between a pace versus a step. So if I started here and I took a step, this would be 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. When we're talking about paces are basically made up of 2 steps. So you pick a foot, so I'm picking my left foot as kind of being my anchor foot in regards to the pace. And then you take your first step, and then your left foot hits, and that's 1 pace. And then you do it again, left foot hits, that's 2 paces, so on and so forth. So that's the difference between a pace and a step. But we can use our paces to determine distances between, let's say if we wanted to know distance between that tree and that tree, we could walk between those 2 trees. If we knew what our pace was, we could then convert our paces to the actual distance, if we know the pace to distance conversion. We can also be given a distance and then convert it to paces. So if I were standing where I'm at, and then I was told to go 360 degrees at 300 meters, then I could then take that distance and I can convert it over to my paces and know how many paces I need to walk. What I'm going to do is, right now I only have a meter tape, 50 meter tape, that's out just a couple meters. I'm going to lay out for lab this out to an entirety of 50 meters. And what I want you all to do is that you're going to go walk with anchoring your foot meshed up with the 0 on whatever your anchor foot that you want to use. Typically that's going to be your left foot, but some people may be more comfortable with their right foot. You're going to anchor that left foot and line it up with the 0 line on the tape. And then you're going to walk and you're going to count your paces out to the 50 meters. And then you're going to do that 3 times at least. And then you're going to average the number of paces in that 50 meters. And then at that point you can go watch the videos that I'm going to put online to better understand how to convert your paces to distance and your distance to paces, and how this can be used in regards to a field setting. You all should have gone out and determined what your pace is, and now you should be asking yourself, how would I determine my paces from a given distance? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's say that you were told to walk 312 meters at 215 degrees. And now you want to determine how many paces do you need to walk in that direction. The way that I would set it up is to write 100 paces. If you went out and you figured out that you had 100 paces to 50 meters, so you would put your number of paces that you figure out on average you have in a 50 meter distance. Then you can put equals 312 meters over X paces. You all have different ways that you've been taught how to set this up mathematically in regards to the equation. This is how it works in my mind, and you may have different approaches that get to the same answer. So then what you know that you would do here is that you would take 312, divide it by 50, and then you would multiply that by 100, and that's going to give you 624 paces. So again, with the way I've set this up, I divide 312 by 50, multiply it by 100, and 624 paces is how many I would need to go to get 312 meters in this direction, which I'd be using a compass to go on this direction. So in this video, we're going to talk about determining distance from paces. Sometimes we're interested in knowing the distance between 2 objects, and we're out in the field and it either doesn't make sense to use a 50 meter tape, we don't need that accurate of a measurement, or something along those lines. So let's say that you're interested in the distance between 2 trees, or the approximated distance, and you go out and you pace between those 2 trees and you find that there's 200 paces between those 2 trees. Keep in mind that the number is going to vary depending on the person, because paces are individual to the person. So what you're going to end up doing is that if earlier you had found out that in 50 meter distance you have 100 paces, keep in mind again, just a reminder that this number per 50 meters is going to be individual to you, and you're going to determine that by walking several times a 50 meter tape, counting your paces and then averaging across that. Then you can set this up equals 200 paces and then you're solving for x meters. So you take 200 divided by 100, which is 2, multiply that by 50, and that would be 100 meters between those trees.